Want to make 3D objects like this? Then I've got an easy way in doing so.
First you make your first 2D model, actually. I don't know if you really can call it 2D, but you trace a 2D image, like the top of the boat or kayak. You trace this to your piece of wood, and instead of messing around with a pencil and trying to really trace the edges, there's a much easier way. Everything you will see here, not under the paper, but next to the paper, will be gone. You have to get rid of it. So instead of just making a simple line, there's an easier way. You just take a fat pen and color it in like this. So now you've done this. If you remove the mold, you will see a very good tracing of what you need to keep. So now you just have to get rid of everything that is marked with a pen. And this is much more visible than just drawing a fine line, because with a fine line, if you go over the line and you cut away the line, you don't see it again. Now you can really see what you are getting rid of and get closer to the edge. So the rough pieces I will just cut away with my knife. Just be sure you cut straight, because you're not going into 3D, you just make this 2D shape into your block straight down. And the finer pieces I will cut away with my small wood plane. So now you roughly have this shape, and you have to be sure that this angle is straight, or sort of straight. So yeah, in real life this is already a 3D model, but why I use the word 2D is because you just take a 2D shape and go straight down. That's step one. Now, of course, the boat also has a side, so the next step is to trace the side mold to your piece of wood, and then in the other direction, so this direction, carve out the side shape the same way you carved out the top shape. So you've done the top side, you've done the sides. Now it already starts to look like a boat, but it's still not, because of course these corners are still straight, and with a boat they are round. So the first two steps you could do without having to think a lot. You just trace the molds, cut it out until you have this shape. Now the rest you will have to do a little bit by feeling. So what I'm gonna do is make this edge and the other edge round, and I'll do this a little bit by feeling. Roughly go over it 2 or 3 times with this, and then the rest it's best that you do with sanding paper. So that's already a little bit more 3D. I hope you can see it. Now for the rest you will take sanding paper, but attach it to a plate, a wooden or cardboard plate. I chose wood because it's much stronger. I always make 2 sides, a rough side and a fine side. First I'll go over the boat with the rough side, and as you sand away, for example, start at the edge like this, and while you are sanding, move your boat like that, or move your paper like that, well, while sanding, so the edge becomes round. Because this is a small part, I'll first do the upper part like that, and then do the down part. So I hope you can see this is already a little bit round. I'll do this for the other side. You will notice that with the rough sanding paper I didn't go all the way to the edges. That's because the edges are very sensitive, so I'm only gonna go to the edges with the finer sanding paper. So now we have the base side of our boat or kayak. Because this is not a straight line, it's bent a little, I'll go over this with the sanding paper too. Also to sand away the remaining marks. And now you still have a sharp edge here. This one is not really round, it just has to be not that sharp. So with the fine side of my sanding paper, I'll quickly go over this side and that side. So this way you can really make some nice 3D models. It's a technical approach on how to make 3D models. Because I'm no artist either, it's just a technical way on how you can make 3D models in 3 easy steps. First, carve out one side, turn it 90 degrees, carve out the other side, and then with a little bit of feeling, sand everything down to get your 3D shape, like this.